Hello everybody, Dr. Scarecrow here, and because my headset hasn't come in yet, I can't do my Majora's Mask playthrough that I was planning, so instead I'm bringing you a little Pokemon playthrough I was going to do. Now it's actually quite popular to change up the rules of Pokemon. One prime example would be a Nuzlocke, where through only catching Pokemon at certain times, it makes the game harder. Now in this playthrough I'll be changing up a lot of the core mechanics of Pokemon. Basically it's to see what happens when you change Pokemon from a collection RPG into a normal character-based RPG. So in this video I'm going to be explaining the rules and how to set up the game. That way if anyone wants to try it on their own they can do so. Keep in mind though that it requires a Game Sharp to actually be able to do it. Thus I dubbed this playthrough Mew Quest, as the main character of the game will be Mew. So let's get down to the rules of the game. Rule 1 is that you can only use one Pokemon. In this case, I'll be using Mew. You don't have to use Mew. The only thing it requires is that the Pokemon you pick must be able to learn TM16, which is Payday. There are 18 Pokemon that can learn this, and they are Pikachu, Raichu, Meowth, Persian, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Psyduck, Golduck, Mankey, Primeape, Slowpoke, Slowbro, Seel, Dewgong, Rhydon, Snorlax, Mewtwo, and Mew. Keep in mind that these are the only Pokemon that can learn that move. So for instance, in the case of Nidoqueen, Nidoking, and Rhydon, their previous evolutions cannot learn the move, so you can't pick them. You'd have to start off with the top evolution. Rule number 2 is that your Pokemon may not be healed at the Poke Center. You can still use the Poke Center's computer to switch out items, or at least any Pokemon you may get by accident. To counteract this, you should get TM16, which is Payday, and TM44, which is Rest, at the beginning of your game. You also have to set max ethers as an item through the Game Shark. They'll cost 0 at the store, but you're on your honor to buy, like 1,000 worth of something else and then toss it. I'll explain that part later on in greater detail. You should also get HM5, which is Flash. The reason for this is because to get Flash, you have to collect 10 Pokemon, which you shouldn't be doing in this playthrough. And the final rule is that you may not teach your Pokemon HMs. Instead, you should keep 2 Mews with you that remain fainted. They'll be able to learn all the HMs, as well as dig and transport, so that your Pokemon does not have to. This rule is basically in place to keep you from wrecking your Pokemon, because the second you install an HM on the Pokemon, you cannot rewrite that. That HM is there permanently, which means that you lose a slot that you can use for other TMs to form strategies. Alright, now I'll tell you how to set this up. All the Game Shark codes that you'll be needing will be in the description. There will be a code for starting with each of the Pokemon it's possible to start with. You only need one, the one that you want to choose. Alright, so let's get started with the instructions. Hello everybody, I'll be doing the instructions live. It'll be my first time doing live gameplay while commentating. So, before you start, you'll need to have the start with this Pokemon code on. And you'll know it's working because that'll happen. There'll be glitches where the Pokemon should be. That's good. That means it's working. Alright. So then you get everything started. You'll want to have that code activated up until you right after you pick your Pokemon, you want to deactivate that code. So don't fight your rival with it on, otherwise it'll be a Mew versus Mew battle. I mean, if you want to fight against a Mew, that's fine, but he won't have a Mew for the rest of the game, you can't set it up that way. So I prefer fighting with him having one of the 3 starters. Yes, this block is most definitely a Pokemon. I'm gonna name myself Mew. It's a part of the story of the character, and I'll explain that once I'm done with the instructions. Let's call him Gary, because, I mean, he is Gary motherfucking Oaks, right? So then you gotta wade through all this. Yes, I now remember my grandson's name? I don't know. Cousin. Nephew. Alright. So then what you want to do is start normally until you get to pick a Pokemon. So let's get there. I always forget you're supposed to go up here, and I'm going to the lab first, and there's nothing for me to do. Have I just not known to stay out of the grass this entire time? I mean, I imagine I've been living in this village since I was a kid. Did I just never decide to go up there? Ooh, I have 3 Pokemon to pick from. Mew, Mew, or Mew. Alright. So yeah, he says more. So when you pick a Pokemon, they'll all be Mew. The only reason it matters is if you pick this one, your rival will have Squirtle. If you pick this one, your rival will have Bulbasaur. If you pick this one, your rival will have Charmander. And I think I want my rival to have Charmander. Mew received Mew! Yay! And we'll give Mew a nickname of Mew. There's actually a funny story behind that, which I'll tell later. Alright, so now what you want to do is you want to turn off the cheat. So these are all the cheats you're going to need. The first one was to start with Mew. You want to turn off. The list of all the others, like start with, say, Pikachu or Slowpoke or whatever, they'll be in the description, so you can pick whichever. So just turn that off for now. Yeah. So now your rival will have Charmander, you can fight against that. Yeah, definitely make sure to turn it off, because otherwise you'll end up fighting nothing but Mews for the rest of the game. I always wonder if they pick at random, because they never seem to do attacks that make sense. Of course, red, blue, and yellow had their fair share of problems. I just decided to pick blue because it's what I played as a kid. I never actually played fire red or leaf green, I think it is. I used to play it through N64 though, so it would have color, but I don't have access to my N64 right now. Not for a while. You couldn't have picked the right Pokemon, because Mew is the only right Pokemon. Alright, so now you gotta head up to the store and then back down and fetch something for Professor Oak. But before we do that, I'm going to talk to you about what you need to do. You're going to want the infinite money codes because you can't purchasing TM16 and 44 cost more money than you're going to have right now. So what I do is I purchase both of those, and then I turn the infinite money code off, and then I purchase a whole bunch of them until I'm back down to the amount I should have, which when you start off will be 3,175, because that's, yeah, you start off with 3,000 and you get 175 for beating your rival. Each of these codes can only be activated one for each other, so for instance you can't have the Masterball code and the TM codes on at the same time. All the item codes can only be activated one at a time. Alright, so let's put infinite money on and TM16. Alright, so I can't actually buy anything yet, I have to head back. And now we can buy from the store. And because the code's on, oh, we have tons of money, and we can buy TM16, we'll want to buy one of those. And then we gotta change the code. 1944, let's rest. HM5, which is Flash, and that'll be free. Oh, it's not free. I was wrong. The Master Balls will be free, that's what it is. Alright, and then the last thing we need is 1 or 2 Master Balls. I'm gonna only get 1 because I'm gonna get 1 storage Mew, and then I'm going to get the other storage Mew from the Mew glitch later on. So I don't need that right now. Alright, so because we've spent all the money we need, for now we should make it so our money's set back to normal. So what I do to do that is I go in, oh wait, before we do that, let's equip Mew with these so they don't get in the way. Yeah, so just, you can put them both on the Pokemon, or you can sell 44 if you don't want it. I figured it'd help out since you can't use a Poke Center. Make things a little more tolerable. Definitely don't equip HM05 onto him, that's a bad idea. Alright, so then what you do is buy 99. Just toss them. Then you buy 99 more, or get as close as you can to 1, or I mean 3, 175. You're not going to be able to get exact. I say err in your favor because money's going to be tight. So let's see. Yeah, so just err in your favor as close as you can. You see, I can't get exactly there. I don't sell them. And just drop everything, except for the Master Ball. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the code so that whenever you run into a Pokemon, it's always Mew. And what that, here, I'll show you what that is. Don't worry about the picture, it'll either be a blur or like a Bulbasaur or something weird like that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, see, it looks like something like that. Sometimes it's Bulbasaur, but as long as it says a wild Mew or a wild whatever you're looking for appears, then it's fine. So what I do is I mean, I don't use Payday because this is just prep, and that would increase my money. But get them as low as you can. You don't need to since you have a Master Ball, but it'll help later. Alright, and then catch them. Alright. Then you have your HM Mule. One of two. Of course, if you wanted to get both of them right away, just get another Master Ball. Yeah, let's give it a nickname. There you go. Alright, and then what you want to do is switch it so that it's first. Oh, I need to take the code off. Then you take the code off so that you can actually run a regular Pokemon. No. I also recommend setting, let's go to options. Let's set, recommend battle style to set because shift just gets annoying if you're only using one Pokemon. There. Yeah, let's see. Now we have our little HM slots, and that will count for 4. If you have a second one, it'll count for another 4, which is all of them. You'll be able to fit all of the HMs at least once. Now you can use the Poke Center once here. I didn't think about this very well. You can use the Poke Center once since this was just the setup. And we're almost ready. Let's see, and then we want to get it back out. I put it in the computer so that it wouldn't heal. That way it stays fainted. Yeah, see, now it's fainted, so if Mew dies, it won't go to the other random Mews you'll have in your inventory. Alright, so the last part is you'll want to turn on Max Ether, and this one you're going to want to leave on for the rest of the game. It's important that you do because since you won't be using the Poke Centers, you're going to need the Max Ethers to increase your PP, otherwise you'll run out and you won't be able to do moves. So in the store, Max Ether will replace Pokeballs, which you shouldn't be needing anyway. But they cost 0, and that's where the problem comes in. So let's say I want to buy 1, you know. To actually do it, it costs me 0, which is a problem because, you know, that's free. That doesn't work out well. So what I do is I buy, like, you know, 4 burn heals, or, you know, just something out that equals out to be 1,000. And then, you know, you toss them, and then it's like you paid 1,000 for the Max Ether. And that's how you set it up. Alright, so let me save, and then we'll get to the real gameplay.